Hey everyone, it's Angela from abpan.com, and I thought it'd be fun today to talk about my favorite lens, my 17 to 40 millimeter wide angle lens. It is an awesome lens. I probably use this lens about 80 to 90% of the time when I'm taking pictures. It's awesome for landscapes because you can get so much more of the scene into your shot with a wide angle lens as opposed to a regular zoom lens or anything like that. It's a really light lens, which if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that the weight of camera equipment definitely is a huge factor for me for when I'm purchasing new stuff. So it's a really light lens. It's not the lightest lens, like it's not like a 50 millimeter where you can barely feel anything, but it's a pretty light lens for its size. And the focusing is great at any focal length from 17 to 40 millimeters. I've had no problems except for the very beginning actually. When I first got this lens, I wasn't using it that much, but then when I started using it more and more often, I noticed that my focusing was off. Like no matter how much I tried to focus it, it was still always a little bit fuzzy. So I actually had to send this into the Canon factory. I don't know if I dropped it or if something happened to it, but I had to send it into the Canon factory, and they sent it back to me within a few weeks, probably like 2 weeks, and I got it back, and I've never had any problems ever since then. I might have just dropped it or handled it wrong or something like that, but I've had no other problems with this lens ever since then, and I use it so much, and it's an awesome lens. For an L lens, it's really reasonably priced. Let me Google real quick how much this costs. For an L lens, it's pretty reasonably priced. It is listed on the Canon website as $671, so that's not bad for an L lens. And if you take pictures pretty often, it's definitely well worth the investment. You'll love this lens once you get it. But there are a few downsides to it too. But there are a few things that I don't like about this lens. For instance, sometimes there's a little bit of distortion on the sides of your image at the widest angle or at the widest focal length. So at 17 millimeters, sometimes you'll get a little bit of distortion, especially if you're taking pictures of something really straight like a building or columns or something like that. You'll definitely notice a little curvature at the sides. Now you can fix this in Photoshop or some other computer programs, but sometimes this distortion can kind of look cool, especially if you're taking pictures of people from like the top down, like their legs will look a little bit short or something like that. I don't know, it may look cool depending on your eye and how you like your pictures taken, but that's just what happens sometimes at a 17 millimeter focal length. And sometimes you also will get chromatic aberrations, but that's just the truth with any wide angle lens, 17 to 40 millimeter or whatever, Nikon, Canon, whatever wide angle lens you use. It's kind of known that wide angle lenses create chromatic aberrations. So what chromatic aberrations is that little color fringing there you have between two very contrasting things in your picture. So let's say you're taking pictures of a really bright sky and then a building right in front, and the building is causing shadows, so it's really bright and then really dark. So sometimes along the building you'll see like a green or a red or even I think purple too, that you'll see a little fringing happening. You can fix this in Photoshop or in whatever computer programs you prefer to use, but that's just something that I get sometimes with this wide angle lens. Overall, I love this lens. I use it most of the time when I'm out taking pictures, 80 to 90% of the time. I do find myself having to move forward a lot because it's not a zoom lens, it's a wide angle lens. So if I do want to get a closer shot of my subject, sometimes I will have to step forward. But overall, it's a great angle lens. It's really light, the focusing is really good, but overall it's a really great wide angle lens. The price is great, the weight is great, it's really light, and you can take some really great crisp images with this lens. So at the end of this video, I was going to put some of my favorite pictures that I've taken with this lens so you can check it out. Thanks for watching. Bye.